Eric Vincent, what is up? We are here pre-recording an episode of Beyond the Box because Eric has some
Yes.
responsibilities with the Motor City Cruise tonight. So we're gonna get this content out to you because we've got a lot that we've got to cover. We got the Super Bowl this weekend, which
Oh yeah.
should be a great game. We
Yes.
also have some Kyrie Irving news that we need to talk about and get into. And I was thinking this week too, and I'm gonna ask this question now and we can think about it and we'll get to it later in the show. But I was watching the NBA, which I don't normally do too often. And there's a
Mhm.
reason for that.
Right.
And it kind of struck me. They say Steph Curry's changed the game. Has he changed the game for better or for worse? And we're going to answer that question tonight. And I don't think you'll be too surprised with my answer, Eric. But
Oh, I can't wait to hear your answer.
how's the last week been, man? Everything been going good?
Yeah, everything's been cool. It's been freezing, so I haven't really been moving that much. Everybody's been staying off the road, smart, doing it just like me. Just been chilling, man. How's everything with you?
Everything's good. Clean shaven this weekend because we had a
Yeah, now things are back right now.
Yeah, we had a continuously running furnace this weekend, so the office that I work in was 95 degrees. So it was brutal. I'm like
Ugh.
feeling hungover, not from drinking, but just from, doggone a long weekend. We took the kids to a water park Thursday night into Friday.
Mhm.
Then I went and did my Army weekend, and I'm like so trashed, like just exhausted. It is exhausting, but I'm glad to be here. What?
Real quick before we get into our topics, did you watch any of the Pro Bowl entertainment yesterday? Okay,
I
just wanna
have
make sure we're
I
on the
have
same page.
zero I have zero interest in any of the like I think
None.
the games thing is cool. Like I'm here for a skills competition and NHL had their skills competition Friday night as well.
Mhm.
I like those things, but I no.
When I
I
saw the
didn't watch
highlight,
game.
when I saw the highlight with everyone talking about Jared Goff squeezing in a pass to TJ Hawkinson and then them taking a selfie in the end zone, I'm like, all right, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no.
I,
Didn't miss
there's
anything.
nothing
There's
important.
nothing there no. The Pro Bowl is the Pro Bowl and they're trying to fix it, they're trying to change it, but it ain't anything
going
good.
for
So
it.
speaking of football, we have a pretty big game this weekend. We
Yes.
got the Kansas City Chiefs squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles, and man, like I know I went against them in our like prediction. I had the Bills and the Eagles, but I was pretty spot on with the Eagles all season, was I not?
Which makes your flip even weirder.
I know it
You,
does.
the
I know
whole
it was
season had
terrible.
a standard, and then
I
out of
know.
nowhere,
I know.
Josh Allen just had sweet nothings in your ear, and you picked against them.
I know it, but I mean, I guess that's what we do on this show. We should just call ourselves Flip Flop because you did the same with Sauce Gardner last week,
Okay.
right? I mean,
Yours
if
is
we're
more
gonna,
egregious. Yours is more egregious than mine. I don't want to hear it.
I don't think so, and not at all. But
I've been patient with Hutch, with Hutch all season. Excuse me.
you have been maybe unnecessarily so, but at the
Maybe,
same
maybe.
time, he still had a better season. Anyway, that's beyond the point. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Okay, we've got
do it.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a great game.
Yes. Very excited.
Patrick Mahomes is down an ankle, which didn't seem to really affect him terribly against the
Right.
Bengals. He was still able to, make a little bit of a move and do what he needed to do in that game. However, I don't really know who to even take in this. Like, I hate to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've kind of been on the Eagles bandwagon all season long
Mm-hmm.
and would love to see Big Play Slay get a ring.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl this weekend?
Man, you summed it up a lot. It's gonna be a very exciting game. I mean, my prediction came out right. I'm feeling pretty proud about that.
Yeah, you
And
were right.
I feel like when your teams are not in the Super Bowl, you can kind of have any agenda, any reasoning necessary. We're Lions fans, so for me, my agenda is purely on Patrick Mahomes taking down Tom Brady sooner than later, and he's on a trajectory to do exactly that. So for that reasoning, I'm going with the Chiefs in this game. I think their defense has played a lot better in these playoffs than people are giving them credit for. Chris Jones has been one of the 5 best players in the playoffs, period. Like, he's been phenomenal. And they're getting a lot of other help. Frank Clark, they're doing a lot of good things with their edge rushing. Their secondary with Justin Reed has been playing a lot better. And I think it could be maybe a little bit of a problem for the Eagles offense. I mean, they have a good job of balancing, but I think the Chiefs do a good job of attacking right away and making their teams and their opponents play from behind. But even if they don't, even on one leg, Patrick Mahomes just showed that he can handle adversity and, still pull a close one out against tough competition. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time picking against the Chiefs. I mean, the Eagles are the better team on paper, but I think the Chiefs are going to be the ones that come out on top in the Super Bowl.
Did you see Dan Orlovsky's all-time quarterback ranking this week? Yeah, I think it would have been Thursday night. So, all-time rankings.
Okay.
Tom Brady, number 1.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, number 2.
Over Joe Montana already?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's a little much. And I'm a Pat Mahomes
you're talking about him
that's...
supplanting Tom Brady and all that. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, first of all.
Not
but
that high.
All time, this guy, he's been in the league. I mean, I have to look it up, but he's been in the league.
Like 6 years, maybe?
Not long enough to be considered an all-time. Now, is he great? Yeah, he's a great quarterback. Is he an elite quarterback? Yeah, he's an elite quarterback. But when you've played 6 years, really hard to consider yourself a all-time great at this point.
I agree. You got to have at least 10 years to measure. Yeah,
potentially already a Hall of Famer. I get that, but
for sure.
The second best quarterback of all time. Like, okay, could he go? Could he further cement the case of Dan Orlovsky if he goes and wins a second Super Bowl? Yeah, he could. But at the same time, like, I don't know if the Chiefs can do it against the Eagles.
So you're running back to the Eagles now?
I am gonna flip-flop and then flop-flip. That's what I'm gonna do.
This is rich.
Yeah,
this is rich.
Listen, I guess I just go wherever the tide takes me at this point. But the reality is I've rode the Philadelphia Eagles except for 1 week when we picked in the playoffs. And I'm gonna go with the horse that got me there.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Eagles. We're gonna be split. You have so far in our season-long predictions, in our season predictions, you beat me. You've beaten me in the playoff predictions. So I've got to at least salvage one win so I don't get swept.
You can join me. You can pick the Chiefs with me.
No, I'm not going
man.
To. I do think Philadelphia, I think that they can create problems. Now, the key is going to be up front. And you have the best offensive line in Philadelphia in the league. They're going to determine how successful Chris Jones and Frank Clark and those guys are.
Yep.
If they keep those guys at bay and Miles Sanders can get going, and Kenneth Gainwell can catch some passes out of the backfield, and Jalen Hurts can get the feet moving a little bit, I think it's the Eagles' game to lose personally, as opposed to the Chiefs.
Okay. Who are you picking for the Super Bowl MVP then? Because they're a very well-balanced team. It could go somewhere on the defense. Like it
could go somewhere.
Very high-powered team. Right. Who are you gonna pick?
You know what I would like? This is a fantasy land, right?
Yeah.
But you kind of put me on the spot with this, so here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Darius Slay is gonna have a huge play in the game. That's going to lend big play. Slay.
A big play, you say?
A big play, I say.
Okay.
That's going to lend to him getting Super Bowl MVP.
Wow, I like that.
You like that bold take?
I do.
Okay.
You could have went somewhere else in the defense, but you seem to push away from this guy in every slay possible. I mean, the D line is pretty packed with it. Ndamukong Suh, and no, you don't want to give him the.
He's already got his ring. Listen, I love Suh,
and
I honestly wish that the Lions would have kept him around, and I think that he got a terrible rap for no reason when he played.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that.
Facebook memories will pop up every once in a while, and there'll be times that like I was on there defending Suh. Like, Detroit needs the bad boys back. Yes. I don't understand why everybody is so upset at this guy. He hasn't really been like the whole. What was it? Stomping on somebody's arm that didn't actually happen, but yet they made like this big media like. No, Suh was unjustly wronged. in those narratives.
I remember, I think just before I came and worked for you guys in 2016, I think I did a feature on CNN because they had partnered up with Bleacher Report, and they were asking about Sue because I was doing coverage for the Lions. They're like, oh, why do you think he did this? Da, da, da. And I was the only media member defending him. I'm like, I don't think this was on purpose. It was when he kicked Matt Schaub in the groin, and he's looking at the ground. They're like, oh, he clearly did it on purpose. I'm like, bro, he's not a karate ninja. He's not even looking at him. How would you just make that assumption? Like, it was hard defending him because people looked at us like we were crazy taking Sue's side, but it's still love for him here in Detroit for sure.
But what's interesting, and I think that we're on the right path here. If the Eagles win and the Super Bowl MVP comes from the Eagles, it is going to be a defensive player that wins MVP.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Sue, great option potentially. Slay, obviously that's my choice, but then also Brandon Graham.
Yeah,
who's a menace.
He is.
And he's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with the Eagles, man. What would be a final score prediction?
It should be high scoring, even if it is getting chipped. Like, I don't think Mahomes is gonna have a flawless game. I do think he'll throw a pick.
To Slay.
Maybe so. I'll go.
Or he's gonna watch me on the box and not target Slay at all.
Yeah, he'll take our advice.
Happens,
he pays attention. Lock in. Shout out Big Play Slay. I'll go 38-31. I'll go 38-31 Chiefs. Yeah. I'm gonna go big on this one.
Okay. I'm gonna go 31-28 Eagles.
Okay.
Last second field goal for the win.
Whoa.
Those are always fun.
Late game dramatics has gotta be.
Or a Harrison Butker miss to tie the game.
Ooh.
I'd be okay with that.
That is not what you want as a kicker. Miss
not what
the
you
Super Bowl.
No,
it's gonna be great though, man. I'm super hyped. I mean, there's so many narratives. You're gonna see a lot of guys that can help establish their narratives and create their profiles for themselves. And then of course, my baby, Rihanna coming out at halftime. Oh, I cannot wait. She's been in hiding forever. I've been dying. I've been writing love letters for years on Twitter, and now we get to see her again. Oh, I can't wait.
I hope that works out for you. I most likely will not be watching the halftime show. I don't get into it. I know I'm bored. I'm not interested.
All right, let's have fun then. What is your dream Super Bowl performance, or has it happened already yet? Do you have a halftime that you enjoyed, or maybe that you want to see at some point? Who's your
last year's halftime was phenomenal.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
Eminem, Snoop, Dr. Dre.
Oh, of course. That was what it was. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
I also liked the year that they had it's escaping me now, but was it like Nelly, Aerosmith? I was a huge Nelly fan back in high school. I remember Nelly.
That. Yeah.
Like that was a good one.
20
that was a while ago. I don't know. I'm not big on performance. I'm not big on concerts. Like I think Chris Stapleton's doing the national anthem, which I think is good because he's a soulful like country rock guy. I like Chris Stapleton, but I'm not. It's all overproduced and it's all. Just give me the football game.
It's big theatrics, man.
What was it the year? Did Beyonce and Jay-Z also do it the year that the power went off against the Ravens and the 49ers?
I forgot who that was. Beyonce's performed twice now, I think, at this point.
Beyonce was involved in that because of all the, Illuminati talk.
I don't know if we can say that on here, but yes.
I said it.
Remember, that was a huge part. Lights cut off at half. What?
The light, remember in the third quarter? Like they couldn't get him back on after halftime, and then it was like a huge delay, and it like.
And then San Fran goes on a roll.
Yeah.
That was insane. I do remember that.
That was insane. So I don't know. I'm excited. You watching it anywhere as we wrap up? You watching it anywhere on Sunday? What are your plans?
I might link up with the family. I'll probably go see it with my pops. Just watch it. I don't like the whole. I don't do the whole Super Bowl party thing no more. I'm just not my thing anymore. I want to keep to myself and be reserved. Yeah. I'm 32 now, so I don't need to do too much. I'm
chilling. Like you're an old man.
Yeah, I mean, you are how you feel.
Half a decade on you, almost.
It should be good. It's all good. What you gonna do?
I got half a decade, and it's more like 2 decades because I have 3 kids. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it adds
so
on a couple more. Yeah,
it does add on a couple more.
okay.
But however, I'll be hanging out with some people doing some things for Super Bowl. It'll be fun, and the Eagles will win. Like I said last week as I signed off, go Eagles, go! Fly Eagles, fly!
And the Lions will be in soon. And the Lions
will be in
We
soon.
ready.
Hey, I do want to remind you all that wherever you're at on social media, make sure that you are following Detroit Sports Nation, whether that is on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and especially on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe and click that bell so you can get notifications when our latest content drops from Detroit Sports Nation and the sports world at large, because we do cover everything. And I do know that this is a pre-recorded show, but even though it's a pre-recorded show, make sure you're dropping those comments into the comments so that we can respond to you. Eric and I will be on there later tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, whenever it is, so that we can respond back to you and have those conversations that we love having live. And then next week, I think we'll be back live, right? You don't have the cruise next Monday night, so we should be good. If not, you'll get another pre-recorded one, or I'll be live. I have some ideas for a solo live if I need to, that I think will be maybe a fan-driven mock draft, which could be a lot of fun.
Ooh, that would be a good sound. Okay.
Throw a little poll in the who do we want to take at 6? Everybody vote, right?
Like
do it the democratic way, and
just
America, the whole thing.
Open it up to the people. I like that.
Yeah, it could be fun. It could be fun. So let's transition from the gridiron to the hardwood, and let's talk about Kyrie Irving.
Oh my God.
I think at one Hoo-Rah and Who Cares, I talked about Kyrie.
Yeah,
I did. You did. I was just kind of tired of talking about Kyrie, but now I have to talk about Kyrie because it looks like he's potentially a Dallas Maverick when he demanded a trade from the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
Rumor was that the Clippers were involved at some point. The Lakers were potentially involved at some point. And then he ended up a Dallas Maverick.
Yep.
Eric, how shocking is this move?
Extremely, for a lot of reasons. I mean, it is and it's not, because for one, we all know it's not surprising because we know Brooklyn was fed up with Kyrie during the whole vaccine dilemma. Like, they were trying to get rid of him for a while. They didn't want to commit long-term money to him. They still haven't done so. The only reason they were keeping him was to keep Kevin Durant happy, and he ain't happy right now. So that's gonna be more of a shakeup. It's more shocking because too, they're the number 4 team in the East. So blowing it up was wild, knowing you're already having success, and the Nets didn't really give or get a whole lot back in return. Like, you got
Spencer Dinwiddie, I saw was
I like Spencer Dinwiddie, but like, he's a role player at this point. You get Dorian Finney-Smith, which was Dallas's arguably best perimeter defender, a 2029 first-round pick, which means you traded him for a 6th grader, and then some second-round picks. Like, it just makes no sense. Kyrie's arguably a top 10, 15 player, and you out here trading him for like
a 6th grader.
Six, literally, like middle school players. Like, I don't get it. That is
the best line that I think I have ever heard. That was fantastic.
Like, Mark Cuban is a very ballsy GM and owner. We know he's always willing to pull the trigger, but this is very bizarre. Dallas may come out with the worst defensive team and starting lineup in the NBA. And then when they just had Jalen Brunson last year, you didn't want to pay him his money. Now you get Kyrie Irving, who's injury prone, a jerk, a headache, and he's going to be more expensive. So it really doesn't make sense. Pairing him with Luka Doncic, who's ball dominant, this has a nightmare written all over it for the Mavericks. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So here's my question, because Kyrie has been brought up in local media recently. I don't know if you're aware of some of the comments that were made by some of the talking heads, shall we say, in the Detroit media about potentially trading Jaden Ivey for Kyrie Irving because the Pistons are just so boring to watch.
I heard that.
The moment and listen, whether Ivy has been what you expected him to be this year or not, or you're upset by the pick because you wanted, was it Mathurin that I think ended up going to the Pacers that we could have had instead of, regardless of your feelings there, You don't trade a rookie like that
No,
for Kyrie Irving and what he is.
absolutely not.
The baggage involved, the money involved, the drama. I look at this move by the Mavericks, and I get that Cuban's kind of a win at all costs kind of guy. Like, he doesn't care about necessarily. I don't want to speak out of turn, but it doesn't seem that he necessarily cares about character more than he cares about championships.
Right.
And so, and I like Mark Cuban, but to your point, you are inviting trouble in. And you are borrowing drama. At what cost?
Big time.
And that to me is scary. That to me is dangerous. And I really, really am glad that Kyrie is now in Dallas. Like, just whatever. That's fine. Anytime bad things happen to Texas teams, I'm fine because I live there.
Totally agree.
I'm not a huge fan of any of the Texas teams at all.
So
good. Go enjoy DFW because, one, they don't care if you're vaccinated on there, but two, like they also aren't going to put up with the drama at all. So Kyrie's got to get it figured out. I mean, please, for the love of everything that's holy, I'm sick of talking about him, but it's necessary to talk about him right now because, I'm glad that there was no way the Pistons were involved.
No way.
And then I saw LeBron James come out and say that he's disappointed that the Lakers didn't try to trade for him.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He did a whole sit down with Michael Wilbon. They asked him a few questions, but that was the most emotional one. Of course I'm disappointed. As though I know I have chemistry with dude. Stop. Just stop. That was years ago. Y'all not in the same place now. Cut it out.
No, and LeBron, you've proven to be the worst GM ever in the history of basketball as it is.
The argument is up there for sure.
I mean, like, can he just play? Like, I know this is turning into a conversation about LeBron, but like, can LeBron just play? Just stop with all the like GM and move making and stuff as well. I respect him as the greatest player in the game. I get it, right? I don't know if I can go as far as to say the greatest of all time, but
it's a conversation.
Yeah. It's a conversation. But at the same time, like, dude, like you are a franchise ruiner in a lot of ways with the way that you go into them and you tear them apart to get the players that you want to play. Like, and Miami finally recovered. Cleveland, they recovered because they traded for Spida Mitchell and all that, but
drafted really well too. Yeah,
drafted really well. But man, oh man, Kyrie and LeBron coming together would be like, I don't even know what it is, but just a whole explosion of, and in LA, which makes everything 6 times as worse scientifically. So,
yes, that was my only hope. I don't have anything against the Lakers. Like, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player of all time, but I'm not a Laker fan. So, like, how they sit now, I don't care about the Lakers. And knowing LeBron's track record of what you said, how he builds teams, how coaches have been fired, how players have been moved, like, he doesn't have, like, I like teams that build continuity, show some development, go through the grind, like what the Celtics have done, what the Grizzlies have done, yes, absolutely. And so LeBron,
David Robinson, the Timber,
like just hopping from team to team, getting rid of young talent, getting coaches out. Like, I hate that about what LeBron is doing. And now Kyrie is kind of doing the same mold now in his own light. Like, you've been on good teams outside the Cleveland early days,
sure,
and you've been imploding on all their future assets, all of the promise they had, and then your stability with them as well. You've just been a headache just relentlessly. And now with a Luka Doncic who's been more vocal, he talks more trash, he's been very outspoken about wanting more help in Dallas, and now you bring the most problematic person in the NBA as your backcourt mate. Whew, I can't wait to see how bad this experiment goes. It's going to be bad. It really will be.
I think it is, because I think that these whole super team things, like, right, Kyrie did this in Boston when he wasn't the man anymore. And then he goes to Brooklyn. He's not the man anymore because they bring in KD. They, you know, I wonder if it's just going to be more of the same in Dallas, because the Mavericks are not Kyrie's team.
No, not at all.
The Mavericks are Luka's team.
Yes.
And when
with,
he's not the focal point is when he seems to be the problem.
which makes the Boston situation even weirder because you leave Cleveland to go to Boston or leave to be the man, because at that time Jason Tatum wasn't what he is now.
Right.
Jaylen Brown wasn't what he is now. You were supposed to be that missing piece. And you told Boston, you told the fans, I'd love to stay if you'd have me. Then you leave. Like, he is an absolute enigma. Like, I don't understand Kyrie at all. He is just very talented player, unbelievable ball handler, but his ability to stay happy, be a leader, like keep a team together.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it if you spelled it in front of him. He is just, it's hard to watch. I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't like and that kind of leads into the next conversation about the product of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get to that though, let's talk to the people about gearupdetroit.shop.
Yes, indeed. Hit us up at gearupdetroit.shop. You want to be ready with the cleanest and flyest Lions apparel heading into what should be the Super Bowl season for the Detroit Lions. Why not step into Ford Field with the cleanest fits that you could have? Plenty of awesome graphic tees on gearupdetroit.shop. You can get 25% off your purchase by using the coupon code BTB25 off. We're also getting you ready for the Tiger season as well. You can hit us up on the gearupdetroit.shop as well. Plenty of amazing fits on gearupdetroit.shop for the Tigers, the Lions. Number one place to be shopping right here with us at gearupdetroit.shop.
And it is almost baseball season, which is good, but that's a conversation for another time because we got to continue this conversation. We were talking about the product of the NBA, right?
Yes.
And Kyrie and the drama and all of that. And this is what sparked this conversation, Eric. Friday night, normally on Friday nights with my oldest son, we have what we call guys' night, right? Where I sneak him out of bed and we watch sports, right? And he falls asleep on the couch and then I put him back to bed. Well, it's a slow sports time, right? So
yes,
I let him watch a movie and then the movie was over and he's like, aren't we supposed to watch sports? Which was cool. But the only thing that I could turn on was the Dallas Mavericks versus the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
And when I turned it on, Golden State was up 20. And I'm like, bud, like, this is not he's like, no, let's watch. So we watched for a little bit. And I watched for a little bit and then eventually fell asleep. And the reason why I was so uninterested in this game is one pass, 3-pointer, two pass, 3-pointer, one pass, 3-pointer, right? Fast break, stopped at the 3-point line to shoot a 3. Tim Hardaway Jr. I was like, oh my gosh, you have got to be kidding me. You had a wide open lane. What is going on? And it got me thinking because obviously playing in that game and being highlighted in that game is Steph Curry. And there's a lot of people who believe that Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball, which I think is undoubtedly true. My question, though, and it immediately sparked in my mind that I wanted to talk to you about is that change for the better or is that change for the worse?
If I had to divide it, and I don't like doing this, but I think it's most applicable. I think it's done damage and I think it's helped it. But if I had to say what's done more of, it's done more damage.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
It's definitely done more damage. I'm going to start with the good. Steph Curry has given hope to players that don't look like LeBron James.
Okay.
You see a lot of kids now coming out huge, chiseled, looking like 20-year-olds as 12-year-olds. It's insane. Steph Curry has made it. He's opened a door for kids that maybe can't jump out the gym, that maybe don't have uber athleticism. Now I can just practice my skill at the 3-point line. And in today's NBA, that's going to keep you in the league with longevity. Now, with that said, the watchability has gone down the toilet.
Oh,
even with
awful.
Even with the logo threes, which I love seeing them pull up from half court. I love seeing those, all-star game type shots. It doesn't make for good basketball for two reasons. Because everything is predicated, as you just said it. Come across half court, one pass, couple dribbles, pull up 3. Everything is the running gun Phoenix Suns offense of their early 2000s. And now it's making it unwatchable because you got guys that are pump faking for 3-pointers and trying to draw contact. Instead of running plays, instead of trying to take advantage of like situational matchups, they're just coming down trying to find a way that they can get a 3 up or go to the free throw line for 3 shots. It's inflated the 3-point and 1 for a 4-point opportunity unbelievably. It's made guys like James Harden MVP caliber players when he's unwatchable 90% of the time. Like it's even making bigs like Joel Embiid that are multi-talented, but they just stay focused on the 3-point line. It really becomes unwatchable after a while. Like, yes, it's opened a door and it's created a new brand of basketball to watch, but it ain't for the better. I don't think so. I don't think it is.
So I'm with you, and I agree with you on how it's made it better.
Okay.
In the sense that, it's opened the door for kids that are not as athletic.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, there isn't a single kid that's not going to admit that they're not athletic enough, right? So they're not going to take the time to sit there and work on the skill of shooting a 3-pointer.
Right.
They're just going to go and just start tossing stuff up.
Yeah.
And I know this firsthand because I coached middle school basketball. And I was in a middle school for the last 8-9 years of my life, playing in the gym, all those kind of things. And I saw this firsthand. Where do kids go? There's not anymore, between the leg dribbling and getting, crossing a guy over and making a guy fall and taking his ankles. Right. It's, let me take a step back. Let me take a step back farther. Let me take a step back farther. Right. And I get it that, like, analytically, it makes more sense to jack up as many threes because you get more points than just going to the rim and making layups.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you shoot it at a high percentage like Steph Curry does.
Right.
But Steph Curry is also the greatest shooter in NBA history.
Of all time, yes.
And nobody is really close to him. Ray Allen was pretty close. Ray Allen was a great shooter.
Love Ray Allen. Yep.
But it's hurting the game of basketball, like you've said in watchability, but in the trickle-down effect as well. Because now, to the college game, people are going to jack up threes.
Yep.
That goes to the high school game, and it goes to the middle school game. Not learning the fundamentals of actually dribbling a basketball, of how to get to the lane and make layups.
Yes.
When I coached middle school, and listen, I'm not saying that like I'm an authority on this because I coach middle school basketball. Like, I understand I'm in a basement of my house, but I don't live in the basement of my house, okay?
Right.
Like, I'm not one of those kind of guys. But I can see it firsthand where it's, I'm Steph Curry. I got to jack this up. I don't know how to cross somebody over. I don't know how to make a left-handed layup or a right-handed layup for that matter, but I can shoot the ball 6 feet behind the 3-point line and I'll make one out of every 30 of them. Right. And in that way, it's ruining the game. It's to me. Look, I will readily admit I am not an NBA fan for many reasons, but mainly because the Pistons traded away Chauncey Billups, and after that, I was like, no, I'm so mad at basketball. I'm not watching it for a while, and I haven't really.
It's a good reason to unplug. I'm
not
mad at
that's legitimately when I stopped watching the NBA. I was all in on those go-to-work Pistons. I loved them. I wouldn't miss a game. But when Chauncey was gone, I was done with basketball because the game was changing. And, having a 3-point specialist, like a Bojan, right? Or however you say it. Bojan. Yeah, like the guy that can post up and you're driving and kicking, he can change a game by one shot, right?
Yep.
Now, when all the players on the floor are doing that, it's not really special anymore.
No, not at all.
And it takes away from the excitability and the excitement in the game. I mean, watching that game on Friday night, I was like, "Oh, this is so boring." There's nothing happening right now. It's literally get the ball to Steph, everybody clear out. Steph's either going to go one-on-one to the basket, which a very underrated part of Steph's game, which he does not get credit for.
Not at all.
Is his ability to get to the rim and score.
Yes, he's not just a shooter. Yeah,
he is not. He is a phenomenal basketball player, but nobody's watching that.
No,
nobody's trying to. If kids would emulate his entire game, or try to emulate the entire game, that would help in a lot of ways, because he's very fundamental in the way that he dribbles the ball. He's very fundamental in the way that he passes the ball and gets to the rim. And then he's obviously very fundamental in the way that he shoots. He is an all-around basketball player.
Yes.
But all anybody wants to do is just shoot the three.
That's it, man.
And
It's
that's
terrible.
the problem. It's awful. I'm telling you, there was a fast break on Friday night in the third quarter where Tim Hardaway got an outlet pass up the court and stopped at the three-point line.
Yep.
There was one defender.
Yep,
okay, it
that's all.
wasn't a breakaway. There was one defender at the foul line. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But go get that guy in foul trouble. Drive to the lane. Put him on a poster. Go to the foul line. Don't jack up a three and miss.
That's out of here now.
It's the worst. Eric. It's the absolute worst. And I just it's not a good product. It is not a good product. And I don't know how you fix it, because you're not going to tell people, hey, stop jacking up threes.
Right. Yeah, that's not
Can't
happening.
do that.
No.
But you miss the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's and the pure domination of a Shaquille O'Neal, because it's non-existent.
I'll tell you the part I missed the most. For me, when I played high school, I was a mid-range shooter. So you just talk about Chauncey being your favorite. Rip was my god.
Yeah, sure.
Running off of screens, being able to play methodical basketball, eating in that mid-range area, and even outside of Rip, like I just told you, I love Kobe. Yep. Jordan, KD, all-time great. They're predicated in that mid-range area. Kawhi Leonard, like the best of the best player, and it doesn't exist anymore. One thing that I think it has created, and maybe this is a good thing, it's either a good or a bad thing. 20-point leads now are not safe because of the three-point line. Now, that's good because it maybe creates and keeps you watching longer, but it's also ruining the integrity and the fundamentals of protecting a lead and playing smart basketball in the fourth quarter. Well, you just don't see that.
Because nobody can play team defense anymore.
Facts.
You can't, when you watch the NBA, there's no help side defense anymore.
No.
Because everybody's spread out around, it's 5 wide, and if you got the opportunity for one-on-one, you're getting it happens occasionally. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic that it's not happening at all, but at the same time, I'm sitting there watching, there's not a defender with his foot on the paint. There's not on the whatever area. I know they can't stand in the paint because they'll get a defensive 3 seconds, but you have to have a foot on the block at least to help protect it. I understand the fundamentals of team defense, right? Mm-hmm. Where's the backside help? Where's the off-ball coverage, right? All of these things need to occur, and that's what our kids are watching. That's what younger basketball generations are watching, and they're like, I got my guy. That's it. I got my guy.
Yep.
I don't need to help you.
No sagging low, none of that. It gives me a big appreciation, and it makes me excited for these Motor City Cruise games. If you guys have not checked them out at Wayne State, check their schedule, get there, because they are very talented, but they stress the importance of what we're talking about. It's basically, I don't want to be insulting when I say it, because college plays a lot of methodical basketball, but the G League plays methodical, but with higher upper level talent. So they're not just running gun, trying to shoot threes. They set plays, they, run screens, they play team basketball. It's not just, all right, how can I get, 40 by the end of the night and maybe get on SportsCenter or go viral on Twitter? It's not going to happen. I appreciate the methodical ways of coaching. It strips the ability of coaching as well. It just does. It takes away so much. 3 points just bail things out. And you analytics bums who have acted like it's a good thing for the league, it ain't. And I blame y'all 100%.
Very good. Let's move to our final segment of the night, Eric. We've been pushing this off for a few weeks now. We got some Hoo-Rah and Who Cares. We've had great conversations with the fans over the last couple of lives that we've done, and I just want to remind y'all that we will be back live Monday night at 7 o'clock, so make sure that you're tuning in for your favorite Detroit sports show around. Make sure you're dropping comments in on this video as well, and we will get to them this week. But this segment, Hoo-Rah and Who Cares, something around the sports world that we just want to pump up. It's something that we're just done talking about. So, Eric, what's your Hoo-Rah for the week?
My Hoo-Rah has to go to Jay Williams on ESPN. I saw him on First Take today, and
when he played with Duke, Sorry,
Did,
I don't mean to interrupt. He was
I'm
so
sorry.
good.
No, you good. He was a baller.
Man,
He was a good
reliving
player.
my childhood.
Man, should have had a really feel bad his pro career didn't go out longer. But ESPN was having a lot of segments about Kyrie Irving, as we were just talking about with him. And Stephen A puts a lot of energy in terms of how disgusted Kyrie is with him. But Jay Williams called him out. Like, say, you don't really keep the same energy with everybody that makes mistakes. It seems like Kyrie is his pinnacle of anger. And for whatever reason, no matter what he does, it just always go crazy on him. So anyone who can stand up to Stephen A. Smith when they deserve it is going to get a tip of the cap for me. So Jay Williams, well done, man. Well done.
Isn't Stephen A. Brooklyn guy, though? I
Stephen
think he is. So
Stephen
I
A.
feel like
he's a Knicks guy. He's a New York Knicks guy.
okay,
That's his team. Yeah.
Okay, all right, fine. If he's a Knicks guy, then my
Which is
my
even more
theory goes out the
embarrassing
window,
than
and we'll forget it.
It's okay. It's even worse. Knicks fans don't deserve anything anyway, so it's okay. It's all right. It's quite all right.
My hoorah for the week is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
And his insane dunk contest style catching that they did on the Pro Bowl. I said I didn't care about it, and I didn't watch it, but I did watch the video where he was with Jimmy Clausen and he did that like front flip into the pool, caught the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was pretty awesome. You should go check it out. There's an article about it on Detroit Sports Nation, but I wanted to pump that up because our guy Amon-Ra, potentially one of the best receivers in the NFL at this point, and he's going to be a key cog in their championship, division championship that we've already guaranteed next season, and potential Super Bowl run in the near future. Mm-hmm. Eric, what are you sick of talking about?
Sadly, it's not going anywhere, but I have to talk about it. And actually, to an extent, I want to see this story unfold, but I just don't want to talk about it anymore until it happens. Keep Aaron Rodgers' name out of everybody's mouth. I'm so tired of hearing about this dude. Oh, he's playing golf, and the fans are saying, "Oh, Raiders, the Niners, Who cares? If you're not talking about Aaron Rodgers to slander how he choked against the Detroit Lions and proved to be one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the season, I don't want to hear his name for the rest of the year up until football season is back, or until we find out that he's no longer the NFC North and he did get traded, maybe to the Jets. But until then, I'm tired of this dude. Keep Aaron Rodgers' name out of the ethos. Tired of him. Keep him out of here, man. Get him out of here.
How much do you like Aaron Rodgers? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Hate.
So like negative 30?
He's literally my most hated quarterback of all time was Brett Favre. He's literally a clone at this point. I remember people was, oh, well, he's better, more talented.
Who do you dislike more, though, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? In fact, that's a game we're going to play. Who do you dislike more? And I'm going to give you some names. Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. And whoever you dislike more is going to stay, and then I'll compare him to somebody else.
Tom Brady.
Oh,
It's still Tom Brady. It's still
Tom Brady or Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Okay. Well.
Jim Harbaugh for sure. Brady at least gets, he deserves the credit for what he gets. Harbaugh, I think, is a little too much for me. That's it.
Man, okay, that did not go over as well as I thought it might.
Sorry,
okay. No, it's okay. Whatever. You just ruined the day. That's okay.
Oh.
Okay,
you want me to say Brady?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
You hate who you hate.
I do.
So I've talked about this guy before on Hoo-Rah and Who Cares, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think you're going to agree with me with this. Did you see that a bottle of sand from where Tom Brady retired from was sold for like over $90,000 on eBay?
I didn't see that, and I wish you never have told me that.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What?
So, like, listen, I get that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Yeah, you're gonna have to Google that one. But
let me go ahead and research.
Google that while I'm talking. Here's the thing, right? Tom Brady retired potentially, allegedly, Again, I I like Tom Brady. I don't hate him like you do. But
it's real.
Yeah, it is real. I'm kind of tired of talking about Tom Brady because the moment that he retired, it was okay. Is he going to supplant Greg Olsen in the Fox booth like next season? Which is like, why are we like automatically talking about this? I know that he has the number one spot the moment he gets there without even knowing if he's going to be good or not.
Right. Could
So,
be
like,
terrible. Right.
And then reports came out that he's not going to start until the 2024 season. So
Did
at
you
least
hear how
like,
much he's getting to?
Yeah, it's a ton of money.
375 mil over 10 years?
37 and a half.
We don't even know if he's good or not?
We don't know if he's good or not. And so that kind of leads me into this like who cares thing. Can we like actually make people earn these top broadcast spots?
Yes.
Because there's been talk about Tony Romo and how CBS approached him before the season to ask him to improve on certain things, and he failed to do so. Even though I don't necessarily have a problem with Tony Romo, I thought he's an okay analyst.
Mm-hmm.
But now Fox is going to be in the same situation, and we don't even know if Brady's going to be any good.
No
but
idea.
Yet, on the primetime games in the number one spot, he's going to be the analyst.
Yep.
Moving forward. And so, like, I know it's not necessarily fitting within the who cares, but can we stop with this whole, oh man, he was a quarterback, so he's got to be a good analyst. That's not, those things are not mutually exclusive.
No.
And so that's my who cares. It started with Tom Brady and it moved into the analyst thing because I'm kind of tired about this.
I love that you said that. Shaq had a quote where they're talking about a trade that the Lakers did for Rui Hachimura, and Shaq couldn't talk about him. He's like, oh, I don't know who that is. I have no idea who it is. So what are you an analyst for? Like, you can't just watch 3 teams, and these guys have have award voting. They vote for all pro honors, like things that shape and change an athlete's career.
But to Shaq's defense, he's not on a broadcast of a game as an analyst. He's on an entertainment pregame show, and he's there as an entertainer.
Yeah, you still gotta know some play. You can't just know LeBron and AD and then that's it. You gotta know their trades. You gotta know something.
I'm with you.
I'm not telling you to study the Houston Rockets or something else, but can you know a guy's name? That can't be too much to ask for.
It can be for sure.
Clearly so.
I don't know. Well, at least we know each other's names and the people that we do talk about, which is why you guys like to tune into us. So make sure that you check us out on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe there. Make sure you share these videos so that you can share our incredible entertainment with everybody that you talk with as well. Eric and I will be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock. We will have a great plan and look forward to talking to you all then. Until then, enjoy the Super Bowl. Watch basketball if you have to, I guess. And we'll see you guys next week.